Now let's go down to Melbourne and catch up with Kosha Gada, who's the CEO of Recastled. She joins us from Mornington Peninsula, actually, which is, the nice holiday part of Melbourne, I suppose, almost an extension of Melbourne. Kosha, I've got to ask you what you think of Tennis Australia and they're shaming over Australia Day. They're going to play games there on Thursday, but they just don't want anyone to mention the country's national day.
I think, Chris, and great to be with you as always, what this shows is we're living in hyper-political partisan times, and every single platform is now a platform for political activism. That's just the reality, whether it's movies and TV, whether it's major sporting events like the Australian Open, whether it's classrooms, and on it goes. So those are the times we live in. They're trying to dress it up as not being political and sort of sugarcoating that, it's controversial, that we just don't want to step into it. Meanwhile, they're happily engaging in a lot of other very controversial political issues like flying pride flags and having something called Glam Slam and all of this stuff. So let's make no mistake, it is political. And I think the question is, what, if anything, should people do about it? You could ignore it. You could boycott it. That won't happen because it's an iconic thing. Or you live with it or you create some competing thing. But I think that this is just where we are right now in the times.
But the reasons for objecting to Australia Day are reasons for objecting to Australia. You're saying, oh no, this is when the settlement started and the dispossession and everything that's come from that. So if you object to that, you essentially object to the construct of Australia, in which case you shouldn't be having a tennis tournament called the Australian Open. But I could go on about this all night. Flowing on from these issues that you were just talking about, Kosha, though, is The Voice. Now, everyone knows my position on The Voice, but we know latest opinion polling showing it's dipped down. Support for The Voice dipped down below 50%. What do you make of all that?
Look, this is another issue that is not without controversy. It's complex. It's very layered. Even if people want to support Indigenous Australians, there's a lot of legitimate question about what this means, and having sort of a racial preference or group-based preference enshrined in the Constitution has downstream effects. I think here what this particular story is referencing is the mechanics of it, where even if people agree with the principle of it, and many don't, but those who do, maybe they don't agree with the way it's going to be implemented. And there's reason for that too, because, on the surface, things might sound fair or in good faith, but then in reality, the way the courts will interpret something or the way it's actually going to come to fruition can be troubling. And we've seen this happen in history before. So I think that's the second part of it, the mechanics of it. And this poll just shows that there's a lot of concern still, and the debate is far from over. It
sure is far from over. Just a quick one. I've got to get your thoughts on this. Another Qantas plane had to turn back the other day, earlier today, I think it was, or late yesterday, a flight from Qantas to Perth. It got about 45 minutes out and it had to go back. Now, I got no problem when they turn around and land for safety because a warning lights come on or because an engine's malfunction, but this was because they didn't have the right paperwork done. Surely they should just continue and get you to your destination.
Yes, I think, look, the airline industry everywhere is getting slammed. In the case of Qantas, maybe there's, again, extra angst that comes with it, or layers, because they were recipients of large taxpayer bailouts. The government didn't take an equity stake in them, unlike, for example, what the German government did with Lufthansa. I know you covered that a lot at the time, so that makes people angry. And it's not great for customer service and the brand, where even if it was not for safety issues, that perception sort of lingers when you're grounding planes and turning them around. This was, remember, one of the most safest airlines, iconically mentioned in Rain Man. And people don't want to hear this.
And long may it be so. Thanks for joining us, Kosha. Appreciate it.